Let's take a brief dive into the Mazda 6. We will be concentrating on the petrol version for this video, but this video also covers the car in general. So hopefully this brief overview will help you decide if this version of the Mazda 6 is right for you. The Mazda 6 was launched on August 29, 2012 at the Motor Show in Moscow, with the Tourer following at the Motor Show in Paris in September of the same year. The Mazda 6 had a refresh for the 2015 and 2018 model years in the UK, but this might have been slightly different for other markets. The third generation Mazda 6 is a blend of elegance, driving fun and practicality, and it definitely took that to the next level. And not to mention it's stylish and a super fun car to drive. The Mazda 6 was sold to many parts of the world as both a 4-door saloon and a 5-door Tourer, although some countries missed out on the Tourer. The saloon has a large deep boot that should hold most everyday items, but for larger loads the Tourer would obviously be the smarter choice. The petrol versions are known for being smooth, quiet and very reliable, especially when maintained properly. The 2.0 engines came in different power levels, such as 143 bhp and 163 bhp, while the 2.5 offered around 191 bhp. My own car is the 163 bhp version. The correct names for these engines are Skyactiv G naturally aspirated engines. In later years and other markets the 2.5 was fitted with a turbo, but unfortunately the turbo was never fitted to the UK versions. But both versions of these engines are known for being efficient and very durable. But being a direct injection engine, you need to be aware of carbon build-up on the intake valves, of which can cause problems in later years, if not inspected and cleaned. But having checked mine after 50,000 miles, everything was fine, only showing normal build-up, but I decided to clean anyway. I tend to run my cars up and down the motorway at higher speeds, and I also use top-quality fuels like Shell V-Power, so I'm sure this has made a difference. You might have already seen some motoring journalists having described the petrol version of this engine as being underpowered, and that you need to work the engine hard to make progress. But having owned my Mazda 6 for many years, I find this to be false in some areas. You do need to give it some revs to get the car where you want it, but that's where the manual box comes into play. Couple that to a high revving engine makes it a fun car to drive. But if you prefer a more sedate driving experience, then these petrol engines also handle this job perfectly well. So whether you choose the manual or automatic, you will find that this car drives beautifully. But that's only my opinion, of course. When it comes to transmissions, you have the option of a 6-speed manual or a traditional 6-speed Skyactiv drive automatic. If you choose the auto, you will find it to be a very reliable, smooth shifting and pleasant transmission to use, and not like the continuously variable transmissions that we find in many cars today that seem to create a droning noise. And this droning noise can be very noticeable under hard acceleration, which has a tendency to send engine revs soaring. But we don't get this with the traditional Mazda 6 automatic transmission, so that's a huge plus. But in my opinion, the 6-speed manual versions is the sweet spot, as many enthusiasts will tell you, as it provides a more mechanical and connected driving experience. And I certainly agree with that statement, having owned my Mazda 6 manual for 7 years. And when it comes to fuel economy, expect around 38 to 42 miles per gallon. But that all depends on many things, such as the engine fitted, style of driving, road conditions, and even the maintenance of the car. I tend to get around 40 mpg around town in my 2.0. But I have seen these figures much lower when my foot gets a little heavier. Now let's get on to the handling and comfort. This is one of the highlights of this car, with many praising the steering and chassis balance, especially for such a large car. Although some have said that the ride comfort has suffered because of the 19-inch wheels found on higher trim levels, but I don't find this to be a problem myself. Plus I really like the way the 19-inch wheels look, and especially with that dark metallic appearance, they just seem to set this car off perfectly. In terms of creature comforts, this car has everything you could ever want, but I won't cover the kit and trims in this video, as they are vast. but the early models didn't come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This could only be retrofitted at the time. But on later cars, Mazda addressed this issue and made the car more attractive to the younger buyers. So if this feature is something that you want, check to see if the car you are buying either has this retrofitted or factory fitted before you make the purchase. Also, if you're interested in buying a Mazda 6, make sure to check the service history. For Mazda vehicles, this is an online digital history of maintenance. Also ask the owner if they have bills and receipts to back up any work undertaken. And as with any car you are thinking of buying, look out for warning lights on the dashboard and do a car history check for that further peace of mind. So overall, the 3rd Gen Mazda 6 is a fantastic car that's worth considering, especially if you're in the market for a fun-to-drive and great-looking family saloon. I hope this brief overview video has helped you decide if the Mazda 6 Petrol is the right car for you. But these are the last points to hopefully help you further. In all the years I've owned this car, the only items that needed replacing were just the normal service items, a set of tires, plus a battery, and that's it. But please remember that this video only covers my own experience of owning this car. I'm sure others have experienced different problems that I've not encountered myself. If this is the case, please comment below to guide other people. I don't believe you can go far wrong buying the Mazda 6, especially in petrol form. There's so much to like about this car. It can be engaging when you want it to be, and cosseting when you just need to get home in comfort. But anyway, over to you to decide. I've also added a few more images of my own 2015 Mazda 6 Sport on the very end of this video to help you with more details of this car. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to help my channel grow.